It is a beautiful day for a walk and talk in the park, and that park today would be Queen's Park here in Maryborough. And it is just it's an overcast day, but that's okay. It's still a beautiful day. It's warm, and I thought this would be a good spot to start my walk and talk here at Queen's Park. This statue memorializing the soldiers from 1914 to 1918 in the war to end all wars. I think that was how they called it back then in the day. And little did they know. But anyway, so I'm going to just take you for a nice walk and talk through the park here. And it really is a beautiful park. I pulled into this town last night, not really knowing what to expect other than just hoping for a nice place to lay my head and catch a little sleep. And little did I know that this town called Maryborough, and I have to be careful with that pronunciation because I would pronounce it as Maryborough, and B-R-O-U-G-H, but apparently it's Borough, so Maryborough is how you pronounce it. And I think that woman is correcting me if I'm not mistaken. So here they've got all types of beautiful sculptures. I've actually walked through. This effigy is a replica of part of the memorial to the Reverend Philip Thomas Bird, Tubby Clayton, who was the chaplain to our sovereign. Well, you can read up on that. Reverend Philip Thomas Bird. Actually, looks like a little dog there. But anyway, maybe that was at his feet. And then here is another memorial. This would be to Richard Sheridan. And maybe Richard liked frogs. I don't know. But there is your memorial to Richard Sheridan. You can Google any of this if you're really interested to know who he was. Give you a shot of the frogs there. But I actually spent some time walking through this park in the morning, out on my morning walk, and I thought I would come back and do a drone flight, and why not do a little bit of a walk and talk to share it with you. Look at these trees, really something else. And then just around over here they actually have some musical instruments that you can play if you're so inclined. Look at the selection here of musical instruments. You can see that's something. I would imagine they got little things down there where you can actually hit them. And there's a family doing a photo op right here with all the trees. Little do they know they're on Tom TV. Very nice. This really is a nice park. It's only about 30 minutes from my destination of Harvey Bay for the week. I'll give you a nice view looking up into the tree. I don't know if we'll see a koala up in this tree. I think koalas are in the eucalyptus trees. And look at this. They actually built the little train right through the tree here. You see how the trunk of the tree comes up like that. Isn't that something? And they have the train track going through there. Over here would be a fountain that I would assume is running at certain times of the year. Very nice, beautiful amenity to this community. And then this would be the train stop right here. You can see the gentleman. He's just patiently waiting for the train, I think. But no. Here's a pavilion. I would imagine that they must have nice concerts here throughout the year. Look at that. And then I'll share with you the fountain. What would be the fountain? There you have it. Very quiet. Today is a holiday. Today is the Queen's birthday. And I don't think that her birthday is actually in October. I think her birthday's in April, if I'm not mistaken. But they celebrate it on this day. Now this would be, the river. Look at the river coming through here. They've got different colonial naval guns. The gift of the naval authorities will of themselves form an interesting link for future generations. I'll share this with you. Look at that. There's your gun. There's your barrel right there. Look at. I bring this camera around and show you this little bit of a bigger gun right there. Look at that. It's on a turret. And yet here's another gun. Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. Did he speak the truth? Somebody putting those cards in here. Now look at that view of the river. Isn't that beautiful? Really is a gorgeous view. Got some boats out there. Here's some information about perhaps some different important people. Henry Palmer, 1821 to 1916. Gives you some indication as to just how old this community is. And then over here you have Walter Hill, who died in 1904. There's good old Walter. Very nice. Very easy to come and spend a day here. Spread out a blanket, bring yourself a lunch, and just enjoy a wonderful afternoon such as today, or perhaps a morning or an evening. There's a family off in the distance. Today is actually the last day of school holiday, if I'm not mistaken, here in Queensland. They'll have a 2-week break, and tomorrow the kids go back to school. You see a family here. I don't think that little one's going back to school tomorrow, or those little ones, I should say. I think they probably have a few years to go. You see a family enjoying a nice picnic. And here's a wishing well. Your heart's desires be with you. Shakespeare. Boy, what a special place. Talking about special, this next part of the park here that I'm going to share with you is rather special. It's really beautiful. It's a memorial. I believe it's the Anzac Memorial, Australia-New Zealand Alliance, I think is what that stands for. But here is a beautiful memorial right here, and they've got some gorgeous flowers that are hanging off of these iron beams. You can see that. Isn't that pretty? And then interestingly enough, if I pan up, I'm going to show you something quite interesting, and I haven't seen this before. I never knew that potatoes grow on trees, but they look like potatoes, don't they? Look at that. They look just like potatoes. Or is it potatoes? Potatoes? Potatoes. Okay, you say one, I'll say the other. Look at that. And then here is a soldier right here guarding the gate. Look at this soldier here. Give you a nice close-up of him. There's somebody's son. Look at that. He's got the gas mask. Got a wounded leg. Alright. And then come just over here. There's a rather nice display. Will they remember me in Australia? Australia's great war historian Charles Bean tried to comfort a dying soldier near the front at Pozieres. As shells rained and his life ebbed, the young man asked, "Will they remember me in Australia?" Dr. Bean resolved to do what he could to ensure the nation did not forget its fallen. From that day he conceived and resolved to build the finest memorial and museum to men of the AIF and the nurses. His vision became the Australian War Memorial in Canberra. Look at that. Will they remember me in Australia? I think it's fair to say that yes, they will remember you. You know, I've seen all types of memorials as I've traveled Australia these last several months. And this one is one of the nicer ones, I must say. Definitely one of the nicer memorials. Actually have little sound speakers as you walk by. I think it activates a little narration story. Now here is a lady sitting here. I don't know if it's a nurse, perhaps. Perhaps it's a nurse. Reading a letter, you see? She's got a letter in her hand. Maybe it's from her son. Maybe it's from her husband. Look at that. And over here they have a old Corona typewriter. Look at this. And a book with some glasses. Now we come over here to this memorial, and it is quite a beautiful composition of sculptures and flowers. Give you a nice view of the park from up here. So here you have, look at this. What is rather striking as you come into the garden here is this sculpture right here. Look at that. Looks like he's walking up onto the beach. See the boats behind him that they've put planters in. Really beautiful. There's your sculpture right there. Hopefully you can see that. It's kind of hard for me to see through the monitor, but I'm assuming that the lighting is okay, and you can see that all right. The 9th Infantry. And look at these beautiful boats over here. What a brilliant idea somebody thought of, to put boats here in the park as flower beds. Look at that. Very nice. And I'll take you for a walk through this sculpture right here. Look at this. That's the Aegean Sea right there. The first night at Anzac, the British at Cape Helles, Turkish tenacity and a brilliant leader. We got a different information here that you can read about the various significant historical moments of the war. Wonderful. Really wonderful. There you go. Try not to go too fast. Heat, flies, and sickness. Periscopes and rifles. Well, folks, there's your visit to Queen's Park here in Maryborough. And I'm sure there's more to the park than I was able to share with you. But regardless, you still have a idea as to what a special place it is. So have a great day. And now I'm off to see the Mary Poppins Museum, which is just right up the road.